Good day, how are you? Good day, how are you? We are on live now, Brother Kalam L. Should be in the building shortly. I'm sending him the link now. So he should be in shortly. So hopefully he'll be in shortly. Let's give it a few minutes. If he doesn't come in, then we could send the link again. So I sent him the link. I should be expecting him in shortly. He had some free time, so he offered to come in to grace the platform. So while we're waiting on Brother Kalam, let me chat a little bit about what's happening in the world, what's happening on YouTube, and generally world politics. Because right now we see Trump out here shooting up Venezuelans, saying kill all the drug pushers, kill all the cartel members. But as I'm in Trinidad and Tobago, backlash is just the other day. They destroyed a pirogue, or they shot up a pirogue, and apparently it is reported that they killed two Trinidad and Tobago citizens, and all of that melee. And it's not been. I don't think that's been confirmed, but excuse me, we can talk about that a little bit later. So I'm just gonna drop the link in the chat, as I always do. If anybody wants to come in, they can come in. We're waiting on Brother Kalam to come in. I just emailed him the link, so hopefully he should be in here shortly. If anyone else wants to come in by the time, you can come in, say what you want to say, and we can have a chat about whatever you want to chat about. So let me just give it 2 minutes, give him time to come in. So we got Trump on the warpath with the cartels. In Trinidad and Tobago, which is where I am, the center warship here, it's unconfirmed that they're doing joint military exercises with the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force to fight these cartels. But I think what I need to do is come back with a proper presentation and understanding of what the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago was actually saying about Trump, about Venezuela, and about this whole ordeal that's taken place. But I know you guys would like to hear about some Trinidad and Tobago politics. But that's something that I don't necessarily see being shared online. So I think I'm gonna take the opportunity and I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna actually share some Trinidad and Tobago politics and put together a presentation on what's going on in Trinidad and Tobago politics, and I need to get myself abreast as well. So link is in the chat if you want to come in. For sure. I don't know if you got the link, so let me go on ahead and resend it. Well, I sent it again. So hopefully he should be in here shortly. Meantime, in between time, we got a lot of debates going on. We got DMG versus series debates, some good debates. Championship just changed hands from Brother Pandemus, aka Candy Pan, to Yashu. So yeah, I think Yashu is now the holds the belt as I think the undisputed champ. You have a debate that took place on Sunday between Inky and Onk West, aka Onk the God Killer. I'm not sure who won that one. Well, it was a paid debate, so there's probably no debate review to do. So maybe he'll drop that a little later, and I could get some of that and do a debate review on that. What else we got to talk about, boy? What else is going on in current events, man? We're supposed to have Robert Brown come on later on this week to finish out his series. Actually, to redo the series on Black Regality, the legacies, African Regality, the legacies of royal blood. So they hit me with one that I think I'm gonna pull out. Amos, I think it's Amos the First, son of Sekenore Tao, who was the one who actually got the Hekakasu Aamu up out of there with his mother Ahotep. Jabari always tells that story. I need to get him in to see if I would love to have Jabari Osazi on this platform to speak about that. It's looking like I don't know if I could get him on there, but I'm gonna try. See if I could get him on here. So the link is in the chat, people. You can come in if you choose to. You can come in if you choose to. Give me a second. Let me check up on Kalam. See what's going on. I don't know if the email went through. I sent him the link twice, so I don't know exactly what's going on. But in the meantime, you know what I like to do? I like to hit you with some wisdom from the ancestors. So I think I'm going to go ahead and read it. No. I think I'm going to go into St. Andrews again, and I'm going to find something for us to read. Okay. That's the Karnak Stele of Amos. We don't want that. And any biography, Coronation Decree of Jehutimus. This is 4 pages. I think we could do that. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Don't tell me I messed around. Oh, there we go. Right, here we go. That looks like our brother in the building. Brother Kalam, talk to me. Let me turn on my camera in honor of Brother Kalam L, so you can see my little scraggly beard. You're on mute, brother. I can't hear nothing you're saying. You're on mute, brother. I don't know if I muted you. I don't think so.
Oh man,
I was just gonna steal that, boy. You should have let me steal that, Kalam. I was just gonna steal that.
Yeah.
I could still give you an
What's
boy,
up?
huh? But my war cry
Yeah.
is cuckoo. That's the hood war cry.
Cuckoo,
You need to learn that one. When you're in trouble, cuckoo, the homie's gonna come running from Brickshire, because I'm sure you live in a place called Brickshire or some kind of Shire.
Hey, that's that Trini vibe right there.
Yeah, man. So
Jeez.
talk to me. What do you feel like talking about, Kalam? Because I can't share
Boy,
my screen, so I've been talking people
yeah.
into a coma.
Okay. Anything, anything. I'm
Well,
down for it, whether it's my
were you
app.
were you ever
But
Muslim or Hebrew Israelite? Because I feel that name comes from that kind of background.
nah, never was Muslim, never was Hebrew. Um, I would say that the closest thing to American consciousness in the UK during my time was the Nuwapians. So I was there in the time of the Nawapians and also the Asar Society, going to like those types of meetings. But other than that, nah, never been
So wait a
Hebrew.
minute. You were actually a member of the Asar Set Society in the UK.
No, I wasn't a member. I would just go to like events, like Asar Society events.
So did that start in the UK or did that start in the United States? Because I heard Brother
United
Jabari said he
States.
was. Because Brother
Yeah,
Jabari said he was with that too, and apparently that was at one time the premier Kemetic institution. Apparently.
yeah, 100%, 100%. I still think it is. I don't think there is anything that is beating it. I don't know how active they are over here in the UK anymore because I haven't really been on the scene like that. So I don't know how active everybody is. But technically speaking, like Ra'u Nefer Amen, I think his name was, um,
Yeah,
like
that's the
the
Kemetic yoga
books.
master.
Yeah, man. Like if you go through those books there and you really read it, you're like it's proper information that's in there. But truth be told, like most of it, when I really look at it, it's coming from the Rosicrucian Society. So I don't know if you know about the ancient mystical order of Rosicrucian.
That's them weirdo white people running around pretending
Yeah,
to be Kemetic, doing all that weirdo, making up all this weirdo craziness.
yeah. Well, I have to have respect for it, so I'm not going to say all that. But yeah, um, that organization is where I believe Amun Ra stemmed from, because a lot of it is just a reworking or rewriting of that information.
You said that organization is where what stems from?
Amun Ra, so the Asara Set Society. I
Is that
definitely think
conflict?
that's where it stems from. Reading the words,
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure there is a connection there in terms of like organization, like they work together.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I probably
When you
should
become
say again.
part of like certain organizations and societies, yeah, you be like, oh, okay, cool. Ah, okay, because you're now getting it from the source. You be like, oh, okay, cool. I see where my man got it from. Oh, you got it from there too. Okay, I see where you got that from. So, you know, but when you don't know the information and the only point of contact is the secondary organizations, you'd be like, right, like, these men's on next level. But really and truly, you're just reworking other people's information.
Okay, so I've really never studied Rosicrucian, so
Hmm.
you clearly have had some interaction with them, way
Oh
more
yeah,
than
yeah.
me.
So growing up, I was a member of all these organizations, all of these
Really?
organizations. Of course.
That that
Yeah,
that that
man.
that sounds interesting. So, if I was to say,
Yeah.
as far as the accuracy and knowledge of the language, the culture of Kemet, would you rate them as
Mhm.
being accurate, or would you say they kind of like a
No,
weirdo fringe white thing?
no, no. I rate them. I rate them. So I would never like talk down on it because in terms of like mysticism or spiritual practices, they've got some very good spiritual practices. 100%. Um, they don't teach anything to do with the language or anything like that or proper Egyptian culture.
Give
Um,
me hold on. Give me 1 second. There's someone in the background.
yeah.
I want to Chris, turn on your camera for me because I'm not sure who that is. Oh, okay. No problem. You can turn the camera. I just want to make sure it's you. I will bring you in now. Yeah. This is a good brother to come in. This is brother Chris Withers. I'm sure you're familiar with the brother, right?
Kalam, what's up, man?
Oh, what's up, King?
Right.
Good.
So
Yeah.
as you were saying, you wouldn't suggest that we searching for proper Kemetic knowledge. You wouldn't say join Rosicrucians. You wouldn't say that.
No, like for proper Kemetic information, I wouldn't say Rosicrucian is where it's at. If you're looking for like spiritual, mystical information, that is, I don't want to say masquerading, but it it has some symbolisms and stuff like that. It's nice, but it's not authentic. Like I think it's actually in terms of practicality and helpfulness, it is helpful. But in terms of if you want to get back to the roots of ancient Kemet, it's not that.
Okay, so Chris, are you familiar with the Rosicrucian Society at all? Because I know you're a very knowledgeable man, so you could let me know if you know
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I dabbled back in the day.
When because you a dabbler?
Yeah, man. I dabbled back in the day.
Nah, Chris.
Yeah.
Chris Smithers can't be a dabbler,
Come
man.
on.
No, Chris.
Hey, man. I mean, look, we're talking back in the '90s, man. Like late '90s. I mean, you looking around for things. Ran across Dr. York stuff, and I saw the Rosicrucian stuff, and yeah, I paid my little money the first time. I didn't stand it long though because I found out that they really weren't. Well, I can't say what they really weren't doing, but I just think they weren't following, trying to find out. Learn about the Kemetic culture via an African perspective. So I just, it's cool. I got some stuff out of it, and then I left.
Well, let me say here, shout out to Baba Haru's family because he died about a month ago, huh, Kalam?
Yeah.
Oh, wrong. I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
He died about 3 weeks ago. He died.
Hey.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
Jabari and the other brother from the Temple of Anu were doing some dedication to him, man.
Yeah.
We're going to the ancestors, bro.
Hey.
Yep.
Man.
Yeah, man. And if you hear Jabari talking about him, man, I could have cried.
Yeah.
Look. Chris and all tearing up.
Yeah, it came up. It came out of nowhere, man. Yeah, I didn't expect it. It came out of nowhere. I mean, I'm sure he probably was sick before that, but they kept it. I think they kept it private for a while.
Yeah, man. But what they're saying is that basically is the man who's pretty much almost single-handedly responsible for the Kemetic movement in the United States.
Okay.
That's the man who pretty much brought it there in 50 years.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah.
The man was
right.
making.
He was before Infudician, right? He's before that group, right?
I think he might be Infudici's elder by a little bit. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But
oh man, you
yeah,
just
man.
Oh.
He used to make some beautiful jewelry, man.
Yeah.
They made
Cesariak.
Oh yeah, I seen it. Yeah, he made Cesariak a nice shield.
Yeah, but Cesariak was showing that chain off. Each of the links of that chain is a 6-pointed star.
Oh, I didn't see that. Damn.
Yeah,
oh, wow.
Cesariak was showing. Yeah, Cesariak loved that chain. He was showing that chain off. He showed that each of the links is a 6-pointed star.
And I know he was definitely a master with metal. He could definitely work metal. I knew that.
Yeah, man. The man was playing Onks too, You never saw him playing Onks, Kalam?
So him
playing Onks. He had the ceremony where he has.
Where he hit. And
he makes a specific note. He was a musician, all kinds of things, man.
Yeah, Joe, check it. He was the one who started putting clicks in the metal nation. I couldn't get with that.
Yes, you saw that.
Hey. Listen, this is touching me still, Like I need some time to process this one, raw.
If you go back and hear him speaking, he does a lot of he does clicks in the metal lecture. I don't know.
Okay.
Yes, the man.
So what's the community like out there? Like what's going on? Like what are they saying?
No, whenever you hear him speaking metal lecture, he would like roll his tongue, do clicks.
Yeah.
He was singing.
Yeah, I don't know much about the communities. Every now and again, I see a video of theirs, but they seem to be doing their own thing. They don't seem to be on YouTube a lot.
I told Chris the other day. I said Chris needs to start to teach metal lecture. He said, "Nah."
Man.
He said, "Nah." He said they asked him, but he don't want to do it. He's not sure.
That's not my calling, man. That's not my calling. I gave my time. I assisted as a student teacher for a minute, and I'm.
Are you here?
That's not.
That's not my calling. I gave Chris a name.
This guy.
Emmy Medu Lecture. That's his comedic name from now on. So when you see him, you have to call him Emir
Yeah.
Meduneche,
Ew.
overseer of the Meduneche language. He's no longer
Jeez.
Chris Withers.
Mm-mm.
Jeez.
His students now, when they see him, they have to call him Emir.
Uh, Hey Chris, we saying for the right amount of money, I'm sure you get back into it, right?
You know
How do you
what?
think it's
I wouldn't even do it for the right amount of money because, you know, as a profession, I teach. I'm a college professor, so teaching. I hate to be, you know, like, not prepared, and I think the way I learned the language, and the way I learned, you know, school period. I don't think I have the patience right now because everybody wants to just, not everybody. The trend seems to, people want to jump over stuff really quickly,
Mhm.
guilty?
and I can't deal with it. You
Guilty,
know?
Chris. I'm the serial. I'm the serial window jumper outer. Wrong methodology
Uh,
kick.
Nah, yeah, I'm a methods dude, yo.
They're
I'm
tired of
really
telling
about
me
the
that.
numbers.
They're tired of telling me that, Chris. I'm doing everything that you're not supposed to do is what I did.
Yeah, man,
Read
I
a
can't
grammar
get it.
book and learn Meduneche from a grammar book. That's a no-no. I didn't know the sign list. That's a no-no. Using the TLA too much. That's a no-no.
Right, because look, some things are non-negotiable, right? You have to have and I know you know this already. You
foundations.
know, I know you know this. Some things are non-negotiable, man.
Yeah, I'm the king of no-nos. Yes. Kalam is bad. Kalam. It's to the point where
Jeez.
I had a discussion with Smash about people being burned alive in Kemet. Your boy pull up a text that wasn't a real text. Was talking hard about it.
Mm.
We spent 2 hours going through the TLA. Did find nothing literal about people being burned alive.
Yeah.
I felt so. I mean, I felt so bad, but and I was serious until until at the museum website. The museum said the whole kit and
Now
caboodle.
look, see, Kalam, see, this is what I mean. See, I just heard something, right? Now
Mm,
I know the brother know that everything is not in the TLA. See,
mm,
you can't do that, man.
No,
You can't do that.
I do, no, Chris, I do know that, but we do
Okay.
understand that the TLA is pretty comprehensive when it comes to these things.
yeah.
So
Right.
normally when you want to find out something, you could use the TLA in terms of finding out. Chronology is good for that.
Right.
I
And
know it's
again,
pretty good for that.
I'm one of those people who, I never tell people stay out of the TLA, but I think the TLA source, you need to have a certain amount of background. I've seen people use the TLA to do extensive deep dive word searches, and I don't think it should be used that way.
I don't think I've done that so far, though. So I'm, I don't
But
think I
but the
committed that
people
no
who've
no
done
yet.
it mainly have been like super novice though. I've noticed like the super novice people have went in and they did the word lookalike test. You can't do that, man.
But I'm a novice. I'm
No,
considered.
no,
I
you got some knowledge of other language. I mean, I've seen people with less. Yeah, no, you got
nah,
some
but
knowledge. You're a beginner, but I've seen people who like with really no
listen,
knowledge of
I've
the
look,
language.
Chris, I have basically been diagnosed as a non-functional. How should I say it? How, how they would say it?
I never said that,
A
so I
non.
don't know who.
I would say I've been diagnosed as a non-functional reader. I mean a functional non-reader. I should say.
Mm, mm, mm.
But my question is, what is the motivation behind actually learning the language
Me,
for you? Yeah, yeah, for you.
to be honest, Smash Rockwell used to every day he would be on the show and he used to take text from St. Andrew's Corpus, and we would go through the text and actually go through the Meta in an attempt to learn the language. And I really couldn't follow along, and I didn't like that feeling. So I read 2 grammar books, and after about a year, I could kind of, I could definitely read Pharaonic spelling. I could definitely recognize those.
Mhm.
And I didn't, I learned some mental lecture from grammar books, which is apparently what you don't do.
Yeah. So where do you learn it from then, if it's not from grammar books?
Chris, he's talking to you,
No, I think it's talking to you, man. I mean, I can answer, but no, like I
No,
say,
it's,
I don't say that. I don't say you shouldn't learn Medu Neter from a grammar book. I say you shouldn't try to learn Medu Neter exclusively on your own.
yeah, they told me that 10 times.
Yeah, a grammar
10
book
times
is
I told me
good.
that. Don't do
I mean,
that because
some grammar books are no go. I would say, for learning certain things. Like, I think I was telling you, like, for example, take Gardner, right? Gardner does a very good job on participles, relatives, nominal sentence forms, but Gardner's Sejameth form is just out of date. So there's better source materials now to do those kind of deep dives. You know,
Well, I read Ankh Miraj's grammar book, which I think is a decent one because it actually sources what he's talking about. He shows you actual examples of the Medu Neter or on actual walls and things like that,
right?
as opposed to just
I
Gardner's
mean, but
doesn't
Gardner,
do it.
but Gardner does that too, right? Gardner doesn't show actual stele, but Gardner's grammar is essentially
Yes.
but like the 18th dynasty. A lot of this stuff is exclusive 18th dynasty type stuff. If you look
Yeah,
at Gardner's grammar,
but when you read Gardner's book, I don't think that he shows as much pictures and his sources. I've never read it, but I don't think his sources are as extensive as Ankh Miraj. I could be wrong.
oh no, it's way more extensive than Ankh Miraj.
Oh,
Really?
really? Well,
You
I
compare
never read it, so I can't
Alan
say.
Gardner to Ankh Miraj?
But I never read. Well, I never read the book.
I'm not
I've
saying Ankh
only read
Miraj's book
two
is not
grammar
good.
books.
I'm
I've
not
only
saying it's
read two
not good
grammar
though, but
books.
Gardner's like the go-to. I mean, even Ankh Miraj, right,
I've
goes
only
to
read two.
Gardner, right?
I've only read two, and both of them. One was Ankh Miraj, and one was Muata Ashby.
Now I think his stuff is really, really good for beginners. And I think I was telling you that, it's thorough, thorough.
See, but the problem I think with Muata Ashby is people don't appreciate his translations of the Medu Neter. They don't, people who teach Medu Neter, I think a lot of them don't appreciate his translation and how he translates the Medu Neter. It seems is different, and it seems a
Right.
little, it don't seem right to them. I read it and I was looking at it and I said, I did learn honestly to read Stele from the book, but when I'm seeing the
Right.
translations of it, the translations I don't know. There's no disrespect to other, but the translations seem like he might be doing what they look down upon, which is imputing your own personal translations when you're trying to teach people. And that's what teachers don't
Right.
like. They don't like you to do that.
I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, though. I mean, translation is kind of once we get the same transliteration, then we can try to reach at and try to understand what the translation or what the transliteration is saying. To maybe try to employ some ethnic and some cultural nuances there to try to get to a
Yes,
clearer translation. You know what I'm
but here's the
saying? But
reality. Transliterations that we have are Egyptological conventions. They don't necessarily fit with what the culture would have said. And the
oh no,
pronunciation
for sure. Yeah, yeah,
and,
yeah.
and
No,
and the
transliteration has nothing to do with
pronunciation
culture.
and the
Yeah.
pronunciation is up in the air because apparently they haven't had enough continuous exposure to the language to say that they know the pronunciation.
For Middle Egyptian, I mean, Coptic gives you a good glimpse at what it sounded like. If you go through Coptic, um,
But
but
they
there are
still
people working
don't.
on that kind of stuff though.
But from my understanding, they don't recommend the pronunciation from Coptic. Coptic is more in terms of maybe understanding how the words may have looked or different things like that. But I don't think that that using Coptic as pronunciation is something that's accepted in the field.
No, no,
I
it
could be
actually
wrong.
does. No, it actually does accept it. I mean, Coptic doesn't give you the probably the historically all the way correct pronunciation, but Coptic gives you a great glimpse as to what it probably sound like. I think better than any other language right now, currently. I wouldn't use Coptic to say Middle Egyptian sounded just like Coptic, but I'll be willing to say, based on what I've learned, that Demotic, Coptic, and some late Egyptian, if you look at them, man, they're, except for the script, they sound almost exactly the same.
See, but the thing is this though: when you deal with Coptic, Coptic is probably about 50% Greek as far as the lettering is concerned, and Demotic I think has some Greek in it too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but again, don't confuse. We had this conversation, right? Don't confuse script with a language. I can
No, I
write
understand.
Swahili. I can write Swahili using English letters, but it's gonna sound like Swahili though.
Right, but then we have to understand. If I'm not mistaken, things like Demotic, what wasn't that created exclusively for the Greeks to understand the Medu Neter, or
No,
was that?
Demotic was the script for the common man. It was the most popular, not popular. It was a common script. It wasn't necessarily for the Greeks to understand.
But didn't at some point the Greeks mix in some letters with Demotic at some point, and the language
Yeah,
would
it
have
became
changed?
Coptic. Yeah, I mean, there are certain sounds, that their language don't have. So right, you have to incorporate, other characters into to accommodate for that. But that doesn't destroy the sound of the language. Like I said, I'll give you a prime example. Is the Arabic script Arabic, or did that script come from somewhere else?
Judging by Medu Neter lexicons, I would think that linguists think that there's some connection between Phoenician, Hebrew, and Arabic to Medu Neter. Because in the older dictionaries,
Okay.
you always have those alphabets present before they get into their definitions of the word. So I would think that linguists think so. I don't
I
know
see
how
some of
much, but
that.
I think linguists think so. I think linguists believe so. Correct?
Yeah, no, and I mean, I can see that. Yeah, I mean, just think about what I know about those languages you just mentioned. Yeah, I can see that. Them being what Semitic. That's going along the Semitic branch, right?
I don't like that word Semitic, Chris.
Hey,
That goes
man,
back to
it's
the
okay.
Bible. It's too
I get
religious.
it. I
It's too
get it.
religious.
It's
So I don't mess with them religion, them religious definition because you confuse yourself. Like Afro-Asiatic, that is nonsense. There's no such thing as any
I know,
Afro-Asiatic.
but look,
Anything going back to
that
Medu
don't
Neter.
stop anything though. That don't stop anything. Well,
It
what I mean
should.
by stop anything is we can debate about that, but you know what I mean. Like in physics, right? All physicists know gravity don't exist as an inverse square force. We all know this already, but it's a good model to use when talking about the attractive forces between mass.
No,
But we
I
all
totally
know
agree.
there's no such thing.
You said that like you said that like I was supposed to automatically understand what you just said, Chris.
No, I'm saying as an example. I'm just saying as an
You
example, right?
said that, and that sounded
Gravity.
so simple to you. That sounded so simple, like like a drink of water. And I know I didn't follow that. Maybe Kalam followed what you just said.
No,
But you
but
just
the
said,
thing is,
but you said that like yeah, man, yeah, bro. And I'm like, yeah, it sounds good.
no, but I'm giving an example as to like something that's on
No,
the
no,
surface
I
wrong,
agree
but
with
it has its usages, right? It can
no,
be used.
no. I agree with you, Chris, because they basically say, even though they talk about gravity with that much conviction, it's almost like it's a religious belief, almost in a kind of way.
No, nah, it ain't close to religious belief, man. No, we
Well,
don't.
let's say this. Let's say this. We know the universe is made up of dark matter and dark energy. And if you ask the astrophysicists what it is, they don't know. They can't explain it. They don't know.
Right, we don't know what those are. Well, yeah, true, very true. I'm
But they
saying,
know the universe is made up of it.
but those terms can fill in holes to carry the conversation and to carry the learning forward. We
I,
don't
I,
sit
I,
back
I
and argue about whether or not dark matter or that don't exist. We use the term, we all familiar with it, we know what's going on with it, and then we can move forward, and then later on we can come back and nitpick on those things later on. You know what I mean? But the whole thing is to move learning and understanding forward,
right. But
right? We want to move it forward.
with Medu Neter and the culture, I think you have to be very nitpicky, and you have to have a pretty much, I'll say 80 to 90% for sure understanding of what they meant, or else
Yes.
it's not.
But
I mean, it's not making any sense because we know Medu Neter really doesn't relate to any other language on the planet in that way. It really doesn't. It's really very
Coptic,
unique and isolated.
it relates to
But
Coptic.
but
It's
still
not a
at the
language
end of the
isolate.
but still at the end of the day, between Coptic and the original Medu Neter, a lot has been lost. People are getting into these weirdo practices where they
Oh, you
think
mean
their
the people?
ancestors would have
I'm
done
talking.
this.
Yeah, I got you. I know what you mean.
So we know Medu Neter is definitely based on cultural norms and things that you would have seen long ago in ancient Kemet. So we have to understand that basis. Even though it leaves room for
Yes.
you to interpret, that's all well and good, but you have to have a
Right.
basic understanding of what they were talking about. And we
Right.
really
I
don't.
mean,
We
yeah.
don't.
Without
We
the
just
culture,
don't.
then it's hard to get all the nuances. Yeah.
But we just don't. There's words that we really up until this day still can't define. We just make up something that sounds similar, but it's not just like a word like nature. It doesn't mean what we say it means. It means a lot more. We don't know. I mean, we don't know the depth of the word. There's certain
Well, but
letters
see
you can't pronounce.
now, wait, now, pump your brakes. Now, slow down, slow down. There's a community of people, Europeans, who doing exactly what you're saying, and they've been doing this for probably longer than you've been born. The problem is most people don't go in and read Kemetic culture. What I mean by that, they don't go in and read love poems. They don't go in and read, lawyer divorce decrees. Most people stick to monumental stuff, right? If you
Oh,
want to
I
get
don't do that.
if you want to get a glimpse of the culture more so, I'll say it and I'll say it again. People, you can't just read monumental inscriptions. You got to read stuff other than that. And then it'll give you a glimpse into the culture. Now, yeah, and I agree with you in some sense. We'll never know for sure because there's certain things culturally, some nuances that we're probably going to have to look into the interior of Africa to try to learn, try to understand.
Right.
But there are things though in the literature other than monumental stuff that gives you a broad view of their culture. Yeah.
Right. But we also would have to understand that based on the culture,
No, they say
most
it.
no, but
No,
I'm
they
saying
say it.
but I'm saying, Chris, most of the things that they would probably look to preserve would be what we call the spiritual text. Other
Oh,
things they probably
you
just,
mean people now reading it? You mean okay, no, okay,
I
people
mean,
now reading, right?
I realize that some of those other things are just like accidental discoveries. A man tripped over, a lid and fell down a hole and found certain things. That
Mm.
seems to be a popular story, and that's where you might get some of those things where the divorce decrees and all of those things. I would think
Right.
some of
I
those
mean,
things.
I give prime example. If you read divorce decrees, there was a practice where if a man wanted his wife to get certain things, he would adopt her as his daughter
Yeah, Smash
because
told that. Smash told
yeah.
one of those.
That's what I'm saying. So there are nuances in the stuff that's there, but people just have to go in and dive in, and just read it. I mean, but see, again, that kind of stuff probably is not interesting because people want to hear about, and I understand, I like it too, the birth of gods and being in the underworld and then do what I get it. I mean, that's my thing. But to get a deeper, to dive into a deeper, though, you have to look at stuff other than stuff that's on the walls, right?
But
You gotta look
remember,
at stuff other than that.
but remember something, Chris. The things that we call spiritual texts are the things that they held most dear to them. So that would then affect everything else the way that they their daily life. Marriage, divorce,
Yeah.
law, what they build, what they didn't build, what they ate, what they didn't eat, what they didn't eat.
Right.
So
So
those are
hence,
the
hence,
core
like you were
texts.
saying, it's culture. Right. It's
But
it's it's, it's part of the culture.
but once again, as you taught me, when you're reading pyramid texts and they're just translating it as what it is, that's not what it really is. That's
Well,
not what it
certain
really
parts
is.
of it, yeah, certain parts of it, yeah, because
It's not what it really is.
if you read the spiritual text and then read their literature, you find out that they mix the two. That there are things in the stories of Horus and Set where you see occur again in some of their funerary literature. So you're right, stuff does cross over. Absolutely, yeah, it absolutely
Right.
crosses over.
No, but you taught me that, Chris, that a lot of things is what you call cryptex. So they have a mystery meaning that we're not really aware of.
Oh yeah, cryptographic text, right? If you're not privy and part of that Scrabble group who had a certain style of writing, that's what made it secret, right? Because if you were a certain school, did things a certain way. For example, if you look at the Amduat and then look at the Book of Gates, right? You can clearly see that the artisans, the scribes, had something that was privy only to their group of scribes. Not that no one else could learn it, but that's just the way they did things. That's just the way they
Yeah,
did it.
I agree. I agree with you. And I was reading James P. Allen pyramid text, and as soon as I read the text, something told me stop reading them texts because you're gonna mess around and invoke the wrong thing and put yourself in
Ah,
trouble.
man, what the?
You can laugh. Hold on, Chris. Let me plug in my phone.
Yo, man,
Kalam,
stop playing, man. You
Kalam,
stop playing.
jump in here, Kalam, because you've been quiet. Jump in here, and tell me what you think, Kalam. I want to hear
I'm,
you,
I'm
Kalam.
listening. I'm listening. This is
Because you
nice,
think
man.
I'm
This is
joking.
nice
No,
to
you think I'm
hear.
joking.
Yo, this
You think I'm
guy.
playing, Chris. I'm serious. I read them texts. When I started reading them texts, it says, hush your mouth, boy. Stop doing that. Because they put these texts out here, and you don't know what you're reading and what you. I don't care what you say, Chris. You don't know what you invoke when you're reading them texts. Just so. Kalam, you agree or you think I'm being too spookified about this?
I think I understand the rationale, and but I do think you're being too speakified, though.
For
Yeah, I think you're.
I
you
think
too,
so.
Chris? You too, Kalam?
Yeah.
Nah, man.
Yeah,
You serious?
I think you're being a little bit too
And
spookified, man.
Nah, I don't play with the ancestors, bro, at all. I don't play with the ancestors. Don't be running around here just quoting things. The next thing you know, you wake up one day and your whole life jacked up now because you done messed around and invoked the wrong thing. I don't
Mm,
care what
mm.
you tell me. Look in the corner, you're hearing all kind of thing. I'm telling you, them type of
And
things
that's
that
what I
make
say. Your rationale is not faulty, 100%.
there's people who
Because
play with there's people who play religion and voodoo and they end up going mad. Then they're being spirits.
yeah,
They talking to themselves,
yeah.
write numbers down because they mess around with the wrong thing, Chris. That's a fact. You see it every day. I don't care what you tell me, Chris. If you never seen
So
that, then
I don't. So look. Let me tell you something. I'm like Kalan, right? I agree in the sense that when you say the names of certain deities because of what they stand for, I don't think not something coming in from the sky or the clouds, but I do think if you use certain words a certain way, you can maybe invoke something in yourself, or maybe put yourself in a certain mindset. I'll give you a prime example. I've dabbled in Palo, right? No, I did more than dabble in Palo, but I don't disrespect it. But there's certain things that just don't spook me out like that, man. Again, I don't say it disrespectfully or when they tell me to read something or whatever, but I'm like, yo, that's okay. All respects due to the Tata, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like,
because you're
okay.
not feeling it. You just don't feel it the
No,
way
no,
other
no.
people feel
I'm
it.
not feeling the superstition part of it, right? I'm not feeling the superstition. Or what I'm calling superstition. What I'm
Chris,
calling superstition.
superstition exists for a reason. Our ancestors wasn't crazy. They know what they're talking about.
No, look,
When they tell you don't mess around with
words
that,
do carry
leave that
power.
alone.
I don't doubt that words do carry power, but when I say the name of Set, or when I speak the names of what people call demons in the Amduat and then the Book of Gates or whatever, that don't bother me. I don't think of it as something that's gonna manifest in front of me, or
You'd
I
be
just
surprised.
don't.
You'd be surprised, Chris.
Well, for you maybe, but not for me. You know what I'm saying?
Chris, I'm telling you, you would be surprised the things that happen when you mess around and start doing those things out of context.
Yeah, I think
Our people just end up going mad over those things. I don't care
you
what you
see.
tell me, Chris. I
I
see
think
it.
I think it's all to do with the level of consciousness. So as you're
Right.
saying, what you're saying, as I said to you, I agree with your rationale because somebody who has that, how can I put it, that disposition of superstition, if you start invoking the wrong things,
Hmm.
100% your spirit will be agitated.
Yes.
100% you'll be having some dreams. You'll be kept up at night. There
Yeah,
will
but
be
that's
things happening to
real.
you.
But Kalam, that's real. That's not no that's the ancestors really trying to tell you. I don't care what you tell me. That's not fake. That's not
But
imagination. That's not
but
schizophrenia. That is
at the
real.
same time, at the same
Psychology.
time, somebody like Chris or somebody who's more on the scientifical side of things, it would never impact them the same way a superstitious person will be impacted by the same thing.
Telling you.
I would I would agree with you, but Chris has read enough text to understand that when you're dealing with these texts, there's a heavy science behind everything that our
Look,
Kemetic ancestors said.
look.
They
Let
didn't
me.
just they didn't just make up Ra. Ra represents the
No, no, of
universe.
course. Yeah, yeah. No, no. They just make them up. Yeah, absolutely.
So they
Yeah.
knew. So they knew when they said he came forth, they were talking about the universe. So it's not just I made up some dude, and the dude just stepped out of nowhere, and the dude started to cry, and then he started to sneeze, and no, it's not that, Chris. That
Well, I mean,
represents
yeah. Cultures use.
scientific understanding. That represents their understanding of what we call science.
I was
It
going to say right
definitely
what
does.
they would call their understanding of the universe around them. Yeah, yeah,
But they weren't
yeah. I agree
wrong,
with that.
Chris. But they weren't wrong.
No, no, no. I'm not
That's
saying
what
they were
you.
wrong in doing it that way. No, no. I'm absolutely not
No,
saying
they
that.
were not wrong.
Right.
They were not because you know, as I know, the doggone people could tell you about stars that they weren't supposed to know about. It's because of them,
See. Nope. I don't see. Nope. I don't. That's
Chris.
where we split at.
Chris, how
No.
did Chris? How did you do realize that modern scientists only know about those stars because of the doggone people? That is how they found the star. And don't
Look,
tell me I'm
man.
lying because I know I ain't
I do.
lying. Don't tell me
I
I'm
do
lying.
know this. I do know this. It's something called light sensitivity. If I stick you in the desert for long enough time, you'll be able to see things in the night sky that I wouldn't be able to see living in a city. I do not, and I'm using the word believe here, based on my knowledge of astronomy and astrophysics. The Dilgons, a human eyeball cannot see the constellations that some people claim that they saw.
So
Now,
how did they know then, Chris?
No,
because
that's what I'm
modern
getting ready. That's what I'm getting ready to tell you. Right, that certain things are just invisible, and yeah, I don't believe it. I just don't believe it.
I'm gonna ask these questions. They knew about these things. Modern scientists went to talk to them and found these things based on what the Dogon said. So
I
they
don't believe that. I believe somebody said that to just kind of big up and just blow, yeah, and make things. I don't believe that, man. Yeah, I don't
for
believe it.
real, Chris.
I'm being dead serious. But now look, I did mention something about light sensitivity though. If you go out on a dark on a night sky, and if you stay away from light pollution for long enough, you'll be able to see things that people who live in the city cannot see. And
Yes,
that I know for a fact.
but but remember, the story that they tell is not about light sensitivity. They have a whole different story about where they learned that from.
Well, yeah, I don't believe no nomos came down and told them anything like that. I don't believe it happened physically. I
How
believe
do
it was
you
just,
know?
I don't know. That's what I said. I believe. I don't know.
Exactly. You don't
Right.
know if
I
they
don't know. Yeah.
if some weird being really came down and said, "Yeah, this is what's happening," because
Now
you
see,
hear the stories throughout Africa, so it can't be totally made up, man. It have to come from somewhere. It can't just be pulling that out the backside. That comes from somewhere.
yeah, they make it up.
So you so the doggone is what, West Africa, right?
Okay, so the word make it up sounds disrespectful.
No.
What I mean?
Hold on, no, hold on, Chris. The doggons are in West Africa, correct?
Yeah, West Africans. Yeah.
It's somewhere around Mali. They're quite
Yeah.
in South Africa. You hear a brother, rest in peace, who was Credo Mutwa, talk about
Yeah. I
saying
heard it.
stories that sound very similar. Talking about humans were not the first beings, they were reptile-like beings who were created by God, and God turned their back on them, and these beings became jealous of humanity and started to attack humanity.
Okay.
Now, now, he just made that up?
Yeah, he made it up culturally. He got it from some cultural stories that he heard from, I guess, the people, the tribes in that area. Yeah.
So why would they make up this story about reptilian beings just out of nowhere? And it has no
Because human
actual body.
beings make up things to understand the environment that's around them. I think that's natural to to all
So
ancient
what would
cultures.
so what would they try to understand by talking about reptile-like beings?
Their origins. They're trying to understand their origins. A lot of cultures have a creation story like that.
So why they didn't pick? So why they didn't pick some beings that look more like themselves? Why did they pick these reptile-like beings that look like beings from
Oh yeah,
Star
now
Wars?
that part. I mean, I couldn't tell you. I mean, reptiles do look old and ancient. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that part I couldn't tell you why. But some ancient cultures didn't do that. Some ancient cultures chose humanoid type beings to talk about their origins.
Right,
All cultures didn't use reptilian beings.
right. But here's my question:
Hmm?
when the ancient Kemetic people talk about beings coming down from heaven, do you believe that they talk about extraterrestrial beings, or you think that they looked at that as symbolic?
I never read where ancient Egyptians talked about beings coming down from heaven. I never read that story.
Well, Chris, let's just say this. Let's just say this. There's an undertone. Well, if you look at it, you could say there might be an undertone that they might be saying that. Maybe that's a stretch. That might be a stretch.
I've look, bro. I've never seen anything where the ancient where the Ramech talked about beings coming down out of the sky to populate or do anything like that. Now there are stories where a deity will come down and maybe destroy some shit. Yeah, excuse me,
From
destroy
where?
some
From
stuff.
where? From where, Chris? The sky.
Yeah, the sky. But that's
Right.
because that particular nature was the nature of the heavens. So you
And
know,
where
so
do
Ra
aliens
sent them
come from?
down.
Where do aliens come from, Chris? The sky.
They don't have to come from the sky though. Why can't aliens come from underground?
Because if they come from underground, they're not aliens. Anything that comes from Earth is not an alien. It's not an extraterrestrial, technically speaking.
So now watch this. So the beings that dwell in the duat, right, would be considered almost like extra because they're not of this world. They
Yes.
live and dwell. They live and dwell in an inverted
Yes.
realm.
Yes.
I'm saying so that they would be aliens too.
Exactly. Jesus is an alien. Yahweh is an alien. Allah is an alien.
Oh man, you playing games. Like you said.
That's a fact. I don't care what you tell them. You tell them, no, the Muslims don't see it that way. But that's essentially what they're telling you. They're telling you their deity came from outside of Earth's atmosphere, landed on Earth, and created human beings. That's where he dwells. They
What?
don't even understand they're telling you that. They're talking about genetic engineering in the Bible and don't even know they're talking about it.
Yo, did you say genetic engineering?
Yes.
Come on, man.
Yes, Chris. No, Chris, you laughing at what I'm saying.
Yo,
They
genetic
are.
engineering?
They said Eve came from Adam's rib. That sounds like cloning. I could be tripping. That's the garment that has some extra in it.
I
It
get it.
sounds
The
suspiciously
bone
interesting.
has bone marrow in it, and large bones make marrow. And oh my goodness gracious! Wow.
So if I
Okay.
was, so somebody ask you a question. If I was to clone you, wouldn't a rib bone be a good place to get genetic material to clone you? Or am I
No,
tripping?
no. The best place would be to get maybe some of my marrow from my long bones. Would probably be the best place to get the material from my
So not the
long
rib bone.
bones. No, femur, tibia, long bones, the
All
large
right.
bones of the body.
So what you think about extraterrestrials, Kalam? You think I'm just going off here for entertainment purposes? You think I'm going too far? I know you want to
I
say
think
something so bad.
I think nah, I think extraterrestrials is a possibility. And I'll say like this: I've seen certain things over here in the UK in the night sky. I've seen objects darting across the skies. I've seen like helicopters chasing said objects. I've seen certain things. Maybe because I live near or used to live near a military base, so maybe
Mm.
things were taking place there. So I'll say that extraterrestrials or UFOs definitely are something that's in existence. Whether it's alien or not, I don't know. Do aliens exist? I would assume alien exists. Um, but have we been encountered with aliens? Intelligent aliens that can communicate with us and we can communicate back with them and we are able to understand them. I don't think that's happened, or it hasn't been proven that it's happened in human history to me.
Right.
Kalam,
That's kind of what I feel about it. Right. I believe intelligent life does exist somewhere, but I don't believe we've come into contact with them yet. And if they have been here, the distances of interstellar space are so vast that the humanoids weren't even here yet. Right now, but I believe there's a higher probability of having bacterial life somewhere, right? Some kind of unicellular organism somewhere, but a multicellular complex construction, yeah, I don't think we've come into contact with them yet. But I do believe something like that exists
really?
somewhere in the universe.
Wow, wow, wow. I
Yeah.
don't know. I often tell myself this, Chris. If I was able to go back into ancient Kemet and see what the civilization looked like, would I see advanced technology? Would I see flying machines? Would I see blocks levitating? Or is that just something that sounds good? Would I actually be able to see advanced saws cutting through these things? Or is it just people just chisel the hell out of these things to get them smooth? I often wonder how how much chiseling does it take for you for you with a hammer and chisel, how many people to chisel out a Tekken, and how long does that take by hand? If I'm just going into a quarry and I got about 50 to 100 guys with hammers and chisels working day and night, how long is it gonna take them to chisel that out? Just to chisel it out, not even to actually make it into a Tekken. So there
Right.
had to be
I think.
there had to be some advanced method. They didn't just chisel and chisel because they probably would have never got it done if they were just chiseling and chiseling
Yeah,
and
but see,
chiseling.
but the problem in what you're saying is that we do have quarries, which I know you're aware of, where things are unfinished, where people were working with hand tools to cut things out of rock, though, right? So I mean, those things do exist
But then what's that
currently,
people
right?
saying? But then what's that people saying? This hole looked like a high powered drill. That looked like a buzz saw. That looked like a light bulb. We think the blocks was floating on air. All them type of theories. And I want to know, is there something to that, or we just tripping? We just going way too far out there. We just reading way too much into this sometimes. Because I honestly wonder, are we just tripping?
I think it's a combination of all of what you said. I think people just romanticize a little bit too much, and people profit from it, and it sounds good, right? It ain't nothing sexy about 500 men pounding on a rock, making it into a whatever. The
I like the way you said that,
lasers,
Chris. I like the way you
and
said that, Chris.
saws and stuff
I
like
like
that
I like the
just
way you
just
said
sound
that.
better, man. It
I
sounds
love that,
better.
Chris. Chris said ain't nothing sexy about that at all. I
It
like
ain't.
that. I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. I like that. I like that, man.
You
I
know,
like that.
I don't doubt the ability of a large mass of people moving in unison. Human beings moving on one accord in large numbers are like ants. We can get a lot done.
And that makes the story more amazing, doesn't it?
You know,
And that makes the story more amazing, doesn't it, Chris? When you
no,
think
it
about
doesn't
the
actually.
dedication.
No, no,
No,
no, it actually
no.
doesn't.
But here's
I
what
mean,
I'm
because
saying.
people don't want to hear that. People don't want to hear those kind of things.
No,
People want
but think
the.
about what I'm saying, Chris, right? We're living in a culture with all this advanced technology, and we can't do what they did. We can't build a Merkur. We can't make a proper Tekken, right? We still can't do that. Every Tekken you see in the world pretty much was stolen from Kevin.
Yeah,
Think
but
about it.
but see, and I agree. I agree with the saying. But the thing is, we haven't been mobilized to do something like that, right? I mean, those kind of trade secrets, if you will, haven't been passed down continuously where we could do something like that.
Right, Chris? But think about it. Isn't it amazing to think that people believe in something so much that all these people were willing to sacrifice all of this time to make this thing happen, as opposed to making up a story? How amazing is that?
Mm. Yeah,
That these people were willing to say, I don't care what, I work for beer, I work for food, I don't care. This is my culture and I love my culture.
right.
I respect my ruler to the point where he is the ultimate moral authority. And how
Mm.
could you have a leader that you don't trust in that much, that he has no moral authority, that you don't trust him to actually control everything that you say and correct himself? That is the that is an amazing story, Chris.
No, for
That is
sure, for sure.
amazing. When you see people do these things, and it sounds weird to us though, Chris. But when you read primary text, you realize what they're saying. They're saying this is the man who leads us. He was raised with moral authority. He knows our culture, so he can lead us. And when they couldn't lead them, something happened to them.
Yeah,
You
yeah. And then
understand?
people just move different back then too, man. People move differently.
Yes,
Yeah, they
yes.
move differently.
But he couldn't. But he had the moral authority. But he couldn't expect that if he did something wrong, something would happen to him either. And that's what people don't understand. They think the father was just running around here, tyrannical, murdering people. No, that didn't necessarily happen that way. He was in danger of something happening to him too. He knew that. That's why they wasn't moving funny like now. He couldn't have done that. He could have woke up one morning and something in your bed. You
Mm.
understand? The food ain't tasting right. You understand? Your wife and it, they moving left now. You saying, nah, something ain't right here, man. This ain't looking right. Yesterday, man. Yesterday I was cool. You understand? My cupboard ain't looking too right. He moving funny like. Yesterday he was cool. Now he moving funny. That bed ain't looking right. That foam ain't looking proper. You dig what I'm saying, Chris?
Yeah, I follow. I follow.
You understand? My
Yeah.
sandal bear, nah. My sandal bear holding my sandals different. Something wrong. They got to him. You never know. Because with all that power, that paranoia had to exist, that something would happen to you. You understand what I'm saying, Chris? Because our ancestors was really, really dedicated to this culture. It was a serious thing.
Yeah, I think ancient people, period, were dedicated to those kind of things. But yeah, you're right though. Yeah, African
And he
cultures,
knew that.
yeah,
He knew that. You know,
Asian cultures, yeah.
all the punishment he dealt out, he realized, hey, something could happen to me too. Because I'm the one who taught them these things. so I can't get up here and say, if you're moving funny like you had to get beat up and then expect to be exempt from the same rules. I've been promoted all my life. And that is where I think we got it right. Yes, some ego took place, and we see some things that look a little crazy, but at the same time, they were honest about it, right, Chris? If a
Yeah,
man
no, for
wanted to
sure.
expand his borders, he said, "I'm going to expand my borders to be greater than my father." He didn't make excuses and say, "Maat said so." He didn't say, "Ra said so." He said, "I do what I want." Sen was
Well,
said that, correct?
well, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, the
He
expansion of,
said
of
that.
one's borders. I mean, ultimately, though, from a military standpoint, you want to expand your borders like that anyway. But yeah, I know what you mean.
No,
Yeah.
but I'm saying people like Senator said, I want to expand my borders because my heart desires it. He didn't say my heart said so. He didn't say rock came down on the
Oh,
cloud.
but yeah, but you know though, they did everything supposedly. The priests, made it so they did everything. Well, I said the priest. The they did everything, in accordance with mod though. You know what I'm saying? But I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
No, no. If they was doing it for that particular thing, they said that. If they was doing it for ego, they let you know it was an ego thing. They said that. That wasn't an excuse. They didn't make any excuses. We see it in primary text all the time, Chris. A man want to expand, he say, I'm going to expand. He didn't make no excuse. He didn't say, Ross said so. He said, I said so, and say something about it. Correct?
But yeah, the Pharaoh is raw manifest, on earth. You know what I'm saying? So
No, I agree. But when Senwa said that, that's what he said. He said, I do what I want. This is my desire. Say something about it. Am I lying?
nah, but a lot of that was ego though, right? Because most Pharaoh wanted to outdo the previous Pharaoh, or they wanted to do things that the next ruler would find hard to do. And I'm saying that because think about Ramses II, right? He probably had one of the biggest egos out of all the pharaohs, right?
Who? Senwa said?
I mean, Ramses II.
Well, hey, what you gonna do about it, Chris?
No. I ain't mad at him. I'm just saying, but they were men. They were human beings, right? So I mean,
Right.
yeah, I want to build the
You going,
biggest
Kalam?
and have
Yeah,
the
I just said,
most.
All right.
You know what
Hold
I'm
on.
saying, of everything.
All right. Let me
Because
let me hold on, Chris. Let me bid farewell, brother Kalam. Thank you for coming in.
okay.
Always welcome. Whenever you have any time, you're always welcome, brother. But I'm just letting
yeah,
you know, I have to bring you in next time, and I have to make you, and I want to make you the central focus of our life. I know you're not
yeah,
comfortable with that, but I need to do that.
yeah,
So next
yeah.
time
We'll
we'll do that,
definitely do
right?
that. Yeah, yeah,
All right, brother.
100%. Also, Shesmu's in the back as well, yeah?
I know. I'll bring him
Okay,
in
okay,
now.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Peace, peace,
All
peace.
right, peace, Kalam.
Shesmu, what's up?
Peace, peace. I see your channel is I Kalam. Peace to you. I see the channel is up and running. Got some heavy hitters on here.
Yeah,
But
well, Chris is always gracious enough to spare some time.
yeah, so I wanted to come on and bum rush the show real quick and ask a question to Chris since we got him on. I got him cornered.
Okay, well, Chris
Oh,
is willing to. Well,
what's
if
up,
Chris is
man?
willing to answer the question, because I can't speak for Chris.
Okay, let me ask him. Chris,
Yo,
the town city icon or symbol. Can you show
okay. The
in a
Newick glyph. Hmm.
that's what they call it.
Right.
Can you show me in the text the word spelled out?
Yes, I can show you in the text what a little word is spelled out. I mean, I can't do it right here on my phone,
No.
but yes,
Do you know a text I can go to?
Yeah,
offhand,
but
no, no,
Tom,
no, 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 no. He wants to know where can you find it actually spelled out, and
Well,
not
you
and
have
not just and not just a Newick symbol and a
right?
bread loaf. He wants to see it actually spelled out. I've seen that several times. Yeah.
Okay, all right, well, then I'll give him the wrong advice then.
Yeah, I would have to probably post it in the back chat over on Smash Channel, but yeah, no, I've seen it spelled out before.
so it's spelled with the knee, the I or J, and the
It's spelled with a new bowl, no vowel, an uchik, and a bread loaf. And, yeah, and a bread loaf. Neat or newt. Yeah,
Okay, well, I
yeah,
learned something new today.
so like
yeah.
Newt or Nuet.
Yeah. Well, see, in that case, and that's why it's more convenient to just use the symbol because you're right. It could be newt, but if you look at how it's used in that context, it would be for a location and not the sky or not water or not the goddess newt. Because the word you just said, newt, is also a word for water. Nu is also a word for water.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
Chris, describe the glyphs again.
Oh, the new bowl, a coil or an uchik, and a bread loaf.
New
And I
bowl.
skipped the I because the I is a vowel. But if you look in the New Kingdom, I think I've even seen it one time spelt with a reed leaf.
Okay,
Yeah,
wait. You said a new bowl, a new bowl of uchik and a
It could be the
Bretloff.
oil or the coil.
you
Or the
said
coil, right? Or the coil.
The ooh.
okay.
Y-
So
Yeah, the
something
oo
like
can be a
Newitt.
bird. So what he said was the bird has a phonetic value of oo, and so does the coil. A coil of string, right? Yes, a coil of string.
Okay. I'm not pitching what you mean by coil string. I'm pitching the.
See, that's why you need to learn you need to learn the uniliterals
I'm not
and the
seeing that one.
You've
biliterals.
No.
seen it.
Wait a minute. A coil of string?
You've seen it. It's like a spiral. Like,
Pata, the brother, see, he needs
You
to
mean
you need to
twisted
go.
flax?
No, not
huh?
the twisted flax. No,
No. When you see it, you can be like, oh,
right.
why?
When you
Okay,
see
so I
it,
probably
when you see
I
it, you
know what
know.
it is, but
You
I'm
you
not matching. I'm not matching the right name
you
with the
you
symbol.
know you know the H, right? The one that has the it's like it's a coil, but it's not a it's in like the
Yeah,
not
in
three.
Pata. Yeah, in Pata.
Right,
No, no,
that's
no,
the twist. That's the twisted flax.
no, no, no.
So
I'm
that's not.
talking about the H that has the yeah. You're right, Chris. But I'm talking about the H that has the coil, like it's a 90-degree. You know, it goes around.
Oh, that's called the interior. That's the interior of a wall.
Right,
Right. That's called first H. Right. First
right.
H.
So I was trying to get Chris. You've seen that one, correct? That H.
So
Yes.
it's something like knew it then.
Yeah.
If
No,
it's something
that's what
like
he's
that.
saying. He asked Pata said, "Have I ever seen knew it spelled out before versus just having the symbol and the bread loaf?"
And you said yes.
Yes.
I
Okay.
need that. I need that to throw away one of my I come up with those ideas.
Yeah. As soon as we're done here, yeah. Matter of fact, I think I know exactly where to go get that at. But I'm on my phone, and of course I can't
Yeah,
share my screen on my phone. Yeah, I'll dig that out and I'll post it in the back chat over on Smash
Yeah,
Channel.
man. Yeah, man.
that'd be excellent. That'd be excellent.
That's good, man. So
Yeah.
yeah, what time, Chris? Are you ready to go?
Oh no, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good right now. That's why I popped in. I got a little time.
All right, man. All right, man.
Well, I was
Yeah.
just gonna say thank you for allowing me to ask Chris that question, Joey.
No,
Um,
thank Chris. No, thank Chris because Chris answered it. Chris could have told you hell no.
yeah. Well, man, Chris go way
Right. I'm
back.
about to say, but Todd, we go back. You know how I get down, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm the new guy in the block, so apparently I don't know. I don't know the backstory. You got to fill me on the backstory in the back chat, Chris. You got to let me know what's going on.
You're gonna have to spend some more time in the dojo with us, man. You're gonna have to get on the mat.
But I'm always in the back chat. But you guys not in the danger room.
No, sir. You
You
can't
guys
be
not.
no, no. I said get on the mat. You got to come in the dojo and get on the mat.
You gotta bring some information, bring some text, and
Right.
challenge.
You gotta put yourself out there. Yeah.
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 Well, he does.
You haven't done that yet.
He to be fair, he does. He'll go out the window sometimes, but then he really himself back in.
No,
He
no, no.
gets
That's
scared.
that's. We were just talking about that. We were just saying I'm a serial window jumper out of when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Everything they say not to do is exactly what I did.
Yeah, he gets
Exactly.
scared. He'll go out. He'll step out. He'll step on the mat, and they'll be like, "Oh no, I don't belong on the mat."
He ain't got his
No,
belt. He ain't
no,
got his belt tied right. He got the belt backwards. Yeah.
no, no, no.
He got the
Listen
short
to me.
on the t-shirt.
Listen to me. Listen to me. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the windows here. Your boy run about 10 feet back, bust through the glass, smash up against this wall, smash up against that wall, smash up against the next wall, hit the awning, flip over, hit the next awning, and land on the ground. And while I'm doing all of that and talking to smash on, he's smacking the glass out the air, picking glass out the wound, dressing, and he don't even know he's doing that. He didn't realize what he's doing.
Mm.
It happened. I'm telling you, it happened live a couple of times. The man just didn't want to, make me. I mean, to be fair, he did say what you said, Chris. He said, the corpus doesn't necessarily cover every text.
That's right.
So there may possibly be a text that I could find later that
Yeah.
probably would agree. But in that particular case, I just used the wrong text.
That's why I've learned to never say never as to what the Kometu did, because you'll say they never did this, and somebody will bring up a text and be like, "Look, it's right here."
And you know what? And you know what I find is crazy, Chris? You know how many times I'm looking in the dictionary for one word and find 5 other words that I've been looking for all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were
Yep.
looking for them words and you just find the word.
That's that living word.
Mm-hmm.
And then you realize sometimes how close you were and sometimes how far you were.
Yeah.
Because to
Yeah.
me, when you look at the glyphs leave your personal leaves room for your personal interpretation, and that's fair.
All right. That being said, I'm gonna listen in the back. I appreciate.
Okay, all right.
All right, Pata.
Yeah.
But I think that we should try to learn what the ancestors meant first. We should have that good balance. But I would
Yeah,
say,
no. First, you gotta learn to read their language first. Then you determine what they said, right?
well, you know what? I think I think it's not hard to learn the glyphs and understand the glyphs and know what the glyphs mean. I don't
Oh
think
no, for
that's the
sure.
problem.
That's the easy part.
I think the problem
Yeah.
is the cultural nuance that comes behind the glyph that sometimes we neglect and we don't look
No,
into the culture.
no, we don't neglect it, man. That's probably something that the layman people look. There are experts who saying what you're saying. They've been doing before you were born. You just haven't seen the literature on it. I'm telling you, man. People think that the Europeans are not going into Africa trying to learn about Kemet. That is false.
I'll say
I
this,
know,
Chris.
I know. Look, I know firsthand. There are Europeans. I've read literature. They've been looking at tribes in Africa for decades, trying to understand nuances in ancient Egypt.
Here's what I'll
People in
say, Chris.
America and in the Western Hemisphere, for the most part, don't know about it.
Here's what I'll say, Chris. I've realized that there's an appreciation we should have for some of these European scholars. Why? Because even though they say some weird, crazy things, they took the time to draw these things, and some of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, now on the other hand, like when I was reading the Papyrus of Ani, in the beginning of that, do you know that one of the authors said, "We put this book together because Budge destroyed, basically to paraphrase, destroyed a well-preserved copy of this papyrus by cutting it up and gluing it onto boards." He said that
Yeah,
in the book. He said, "We
yeah,
destroyed it, so now this is our opportunity to try and make up for it." And we're very thankful that Budge took those pictures when he did, because we can colorize these pictures and do whatever we have to do to bring it back. But when they
I
talk
mean,
about
yes,
it, they said that was one of the most well preserved documents that they ever found. But they destroyed
yeah.
it.
We know archaeology 100 years ago was straight butchers. I mean, we know that they straight
They
destroyed stuff when they
destroyed it,
when they
bro.
got a hold to it. Yeah,
Chris,
yeah,
I watched
absolutely.
Zahir Was and these Arabs when they show you pictures and videos of them finding these treasures in Tutankhamun's tomb. And I don't know if it's just me, but these guys look like they salivated. They was getting excited. They was just so excited to find these things.
Yeah,
I mean, and not in a good way, Chris. Not in a way that you might be excited to say, "Wow, this is something of my ancestors," even though it has value as far as monetary value. You and I probably would never think to take that and sell that and misuse that. Maybe we would. I don't know. I've never
nah,
been in a room. I've never been in a room with $20,000 worth of gold. So I don't know.
right. I look at them as graves. I mean,
No, they
yeah,
can't.
yeah. We've learned a lot by looking at funerary stuff. Learned about the
But you
culture a
can't be a
lot,
grave
but
robber.
yeah,
We just,
I wouldn't move stuff out of someone's grave like that personally. I
we
mean,
just don't play with it. I think on the whole, we as Africans just don't play with dead people.
yeah, nah, I ain't
We
gonna
just
play
don't.
around with your grave, man.
We
It's
just
it's it's disrespectful to me. Yeah, it's.
No matter what we say, Chris, we still have this thing about us about messing with dead people,
Yeah,
disrespecting dead
it's
people on the whole.
disrespectful.
We don't feel comfortable just going and digging up stuff and playing with people remains.
Yeah, I think the language probably wouldn't be our knowledge of the language wouldn't be where it's at had we not looked at funerary stuff, but it would have took longer. The
But there's a
development would have took a lot longer probably, but yeah,
but there's a
I ain't messing around with
difference.
nobody's stuff,
There's a
man.
difference, Chris, between you saying you're comfortable with digging up my ancestor and taking them on a world tour like Jay-Z, as opposed to simply saying yes, this is a tomb, and there's nothing wrong with me visiting the tomb because that's really what they were for, and we understand that there's an aspect of that. But to go into the tomb and just pick up things and take it out, no, that was a cultural no-no.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I
You
would
could
agree
always,
with that.
I mean, we always know when you visit tombs, they have things that you could read when you visit tombs to venerate
Right.
ancestors. So, plenty of people in ancient times visited the tomb and showed respect. But then it came to where people just robbing. And that's why they found them all in one place to stop grave robbing. And now people who say that they're their ancestors come by and do the exact same thing that your ancestors said you shouldn't do. You
Yeah.
don't, you
Well,
don't
now watch
enter
this.
there.
I agree. I agree with what you're saying though, but a lot of that grave robbing took place during the time of the empire.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I said that is why you have the Valley of the Kings.
Yeah.
Because when they went to some of these tombs, they found that some of them were already broken
Yeah.
into.
They were already robbed already. Yeah.
But then I think some of these people took advantage of that and just started breaking things open and saying that our ancestors did it. We
Yeah.
didn't do all that damage, bro. We did. I'm sure we didn't kick down all them Nebank and all them things. I'm sure these archaeologists went in there and started smashing up things too, and just blame our ancestors for
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. They destroyed a lot of stuff too. Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
Blowing
man.
stuff down and hacking stuff out the wall and yeah.
That's. I mean, how could you say you love your ancestors? You just running up in there, smashing, kicking down a wall, smashing out a glyph, and you're okay with that? That don't make no sense, Chris.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Don't learn the
Yeah.
language. You don't know nothing about the language. You're a Muslim now. But all of a sudden now it's important to you because you found out we want to go and see it.
Oh. Yo, I'm about to dip out, man. I gotta dip out for a
I
second.
know. Me too. I know. Old age kicking in on both of us. It's bedtime.
Yeah, no, I gotta go ahead and see to my shorty. She been there
I know
she
that.
been
I
there
know
by
that. I know
herself
that.
for a minute.
All right, man. Blessings, man. Later.
All right.
Thanks again, right?
All right, bless.
Thanks for making this stream another good stream. Shout out to Brother Kalam. Shout out to Brother Shesmu. If anybody tell you Brother Jose don't love you, they lying. Don't believe him. Right? All right, Chris. Later.
All right, peace.
All right, people. That's the end of another good, wonderful stream. Have a blessed and wonderful night. Cuckoo!